My name is Justin Bates, and I'll be writing my dissertation about a group of Latter-day Saint Christians who traveled to California aboard the ship Brooklyn in 1846. As part of my research, I've identified some scholarly works on the Project Muse and Oxford Scholarship Online databases that will help me enhance my understanding of the context in which these saints lived and emigrated, while also providing new avenues of exploration regarding their impact on areas such as religion and migration in early California. The first work is by S. George Ellsworth, Susan Ward Payne, and Edward Lyman. It's called No Place to Call Home, the 1807 to 1857 Life Writings of Caroline Barnes Crosby. The sources here, with regards to the sources, the editors do an excellent job transcribing and contextualizing the primary source documents, namely the journals of Caroline Barnes Crosby, into this book. The editors outline their meticulous editing methodology in the foreword, all of which serve to preserve the original text as much as possible. Their contextual comments also serve to enhance understanding of the text. In terms of the content, Crosby was a woman of some education who was particularly well-traveled among communities of Latter-day Saints, especially San Francisco and San Jose in this area. Moreover, it is a history from a woman's perspective, which is something my research has been sorely lacking up to this point. In terms of conclusions, the editors conclude rightly that Crosby's journals constitute arguably the best first-hand account of that era of Latter-day Saint history in California. Now, the second work is a book by Terrell Givens and Matthew Groh, both respected historians in this space. And the book is called Parley P. Pratt, The Apostle Paul of Mormonism. And I'm going to focus in on Chapter 11. While the books focus on the missionary efforts of Parley P. Pratt, an apostle in the early days of the restored church, Chapter 11 specifically addresses his labors in the area of California and describes interactions with prominent Brooklyn saints such as John Horner, as well as lesser-known saints such as Caroline Augusta Perkins Joyce. It also touches on the missionary efforts of the Brooklyn saints in the Bay Area. In terms of methodology, the information is delivered in a largely narrative format. Givens and Groh use a combination of primary sources, such as letters and journals, to provide first-hand accounts of some of these early missionary efforts. They also use some scholarly historical commentaries as second-hand sources. In terms of conclusions, the authors do not so much draw specific conclusions in the chapter, so much as use the narrative to demonstrate why Parley Pratt struggled with early missions in California, despite the support of the Brooklyn Saints, and why he was committed to continuing his work among the Latin American peoples, including those still living in California. The third book is by Samuel Otterstrom, and it's called From California's Goldfields to the Mendocino Coast, A Settlement History Across Time and Place. Otterstrom seems to lean heavily on secondary sources in his writing about the Brooklyn Saints, probably because they help him to easily summarize large portions of their story. This causes some problems, though, as not going to the primary sources himself causes him to repeat commonly accepted but incorrect information, such as the Saints newspaper being the first in San Francisco, which is not true. The methodology, the author is clearly trying to cover a lot of historical ground in this work, and the major emphasis seems to be sociologically analyzing time and place with an emphasis in migration history. Where he spends most of the book talking about how and why various groups migrated to California, this will not be a significant component of my research. His discussion around the contributions of the Brooklyn Saints to the development of the area will be useful to me. Otterstrom's conclusive analysis of the countercultural migration pattern of the Brooklyn Saints, many of whom left California for Utah, while other Americans were moving into California, as well as the social cost to those who did choose to stay, will make useful contributions to my research. Now, how will this all help me? Building on the work that I did for my thesis regarding the Brooklyn Saints' impact on early education, communication, and settlement in the Bay Area, these sources will help me to delve into some other areas of impact as well. Those will include the history from a woman's perspective. Givens and Groh will help me talk about their impact on religion, as well as the impact of some lesser-known saints, such as Caroline Joyce. And Otterstrom's analysis will help me look into migration patterns a little bit and weigh the social cost to those who chose to stay in California. In summary, this dissertation will argue that the 1846 arrival of the Latter-day Saint pioneers from the ship Brooklyn to the Bay Area had a significant impact on the development of that area. Given these newly discovered sources, the research will likely address their contributions to religion and will hopefully bring to light the contributions and perspectives of some lesser-known Brooklyn saints, including women. Thank you.